Wow, I just got back from an awesome 5-night vacation with my wife, all 5 of my kids, and my mother-in-law at the Oasis Palm All-Inclusive Resort in Cancun, Mexico. Watch this review if you want to find out the best things Oasis Palm has to offer, some of the things they could improve on, and even some things to just adjust your expectations on so that you can have the best vacation possible at this all-inclusive Mexican resort. I'm always conscious of how much I spend on vacation, and you should be too. Pick your budget and stick to it. But with this vacation, I really wanted to push the limits of what was possible. So at the time of booking the flights and hotel, Oasis Palm in Cancun, Mexico was the absolute cheapest all-inclusive option that we could find, allowing all 8 people to go on vacation with everything included. How did I manage to find such a great deal? I used a travel agent named Lea McCastle, who works with VacationKids.com. Not only does she do a fantastic job handling all of the bookings for the vacation, Vacation Kids is a full concierge travel agency, so Lea was there for me anytime I needed something, which didn't take long. We flew out of O'Hare in Chicago on American Airlines, and no sooner did we park our car did we realize that our flight had been delayed by 4 hours. The silver lining to that was that we wound up really needing that extra time, because during check-in, the gentleman scanning our passports accidentally flung one of the passports onto and then into the baggage conveyor belt. We were waiting for quite a while maintenance came and dismantled the conveyor and fished out the passport with a hanger. But remember the concierge service from Vacation Kids? Yeah. Lea had pictures of our passports ready to text me, and we were able to continue our check-in process without delay. Once we finally boarded the flight, it was one of the best flights I've ever had. The plane wasn't full at all, so there was plenty of room to adjust or even change seats. But even that wasn't necessary, because American Airlines did a great job of assigning my family seats all together in the same row, even though we didn't get to pick our own seats with our basic economy tickets. It was pretty late when we landed, so having a shuttle service waiting for us with a written sign was really great. That was all our travel agent's idea, and it made for a really smooth arrival. Everyone was really tired when we first arrived at the resort, so we were a little disappointed at how long the check-in process took. They had several forms and signatures that were needed from all 8 of us, that even without anyone else in line after 11 p.m. at the front desk, it still took a very long time to actually get our room keys and bracelets. I'd love to see that process streamlined, or even allow guests to fill out forms ahead of time as part of the booking process. We finally got to our rooms, and they were right next to each other on the 5th floor. It was nice to have all the kids and grandkids get to be so close to Grandma. The rooms were a little tight for 4 people, and you can see that the beds were arranged right together to form a sort of super bed. This helped create more space in the room, and we actually really enjoyed the sleeping arrangement as a family, but I would easily understand if some guests wanted to have their beds separated, more to themselves. There were 2 main buffet restaurants called Bites and La Hacienda. They were almost identical, and whether it was the atmosphere or slightly different food options, my family decided that we actually preferred eating at Bites. The buffet always had great options and assortments from fruits and salads to meats and pastas. Bites had a section called Italian Show Cooking that was actually always serving Mexican food, but that didn't bother us at all. When eating at a buffet in Mexico, it's awesome to order tacos o tostadas de pollo y res con frijoles with a spicy assortment of salsas to go with them, and I was never disappointed. For breakfast, my kids particularly enjoyed having Nutella to put on their crepes, waffles, and pancakes. Lunch options at the buffet were still good, but we really liked having pizza for lunch at Dos Lunas, just outside by the pool area. Their fresh-made personal pizzas tasted great and left everyone extremely satisfied. The kids enjoyed getting plain cheese pizza, but Grandma, my wife, and I, we loved trying some of their specialty pizza recipes. My wife loved the Spanish pizza with chorizo, but I really liked the shrimp and spinach pizza that they offered. For dessert throughout the day, it was awesome to just be able to walk up and be served a couple scoops of ice cream by the pool all afternoon from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. They only served one flavor at a time, but cycled through the most popular: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and coconut. We also ate at the seafood restaurant, La Bamba. That food was great, several grades above the quality of the buffet. I can highly recommend spending the time to get a table here instead of the buffet. This was the first time that the kids and I got to try octopus. My oldest daughter, Jean, was bummed that the suction cups couldn't still pick things up, but they all tried it and even liked it. But our favorite place to eat overall had to be the fusion restaurant, Maki Taco. It's a blend of Mexican and Japanese cuisine that sounds weird, but works oh so well together. It's no wonder you had to get reservations to eat here. We were only able to get reservations for one night because they filled up so quickly. Remember I said waiting in line was kind of a thing at Oasis Palm? Well, reservations opened at 4 p.m., but you had to be in line by 3:30. and I even missed the cutoff by just 2 people on Sunday afternoon despite waiting in line for 45 minutes. But when we did get a table, it was worth the wait. The food and the atmosphere were incredible. I had the duck, and it was lean and tender and seasoned to perfection. All the kids ate up everything that they ordered and enjoyed their upside-down mango ice cream cones for dessert. There are more restaurants in other parts of the connecting hotels and facilities, and the staff will encourage you to go and watch shows and see entertainment at those venues, but your food and drink is only included at the facilities around the main Oasis Palm pool area. We even had some confusion about whether or not we could actually use the other hotel's pool and facilities. During our stay, they even actually put up a wall between the sidewalks that connected the 2 pools. But you could still access each area via the beaches or through the other buildings themselves. So we were still able to enjoy everything that each hotel had to offer. But something that the hotel didn't offer was room service. We knew this when we booked, and it didn't bother me at all because I thought I could just take food to my room. Especially after our late arrival, the buffet had late night snacks available and you were just able to take those up to your room. But 2 other times I tried to take a plate to go, once from Dos Lunas, and I was told no. I just assumed it was because it wasn't from the buffet. But when I tried to serve myself dinner at the buffet on another night and left with 2 full plates of food to take to our room, the hostess actually chased me down and told me I wasn't allowed to take the food to my room. She took the plates back and threw them away. It was a shameful waste. If you're not going to provide room service, please let guests take their own food to their rooms so that kids who aren't feeling well or who aren't ready to sit down and eat can still get food without an embarrassing scene. But what is a stay in the Caribbean without a great beach? Oasis Palm has an awesome, easily accessible beach right there. You couldn't help but find yourself relaxing on the sand by the waves. And we never had trouble finding a lounger. We traveled in the middle of February, which is still technically winter, even in Mexico. And we had temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. The kids loved swimming, but at those temperatures, I liked to wait until the heat of the day in the middle of the afternoon before venturing into the water. The ocean was definitely warmer than the pool, so we spent most of our swimming time in there. But that didn't stop my kids from having a great time in the large pool. They loved having pirates and small slides to play around, and the large floating trampoline in the middle was a huge hit with everyone all week long. It was great that the main pool had separate depths too. The deepest part was about 6 feet deep. Great for jumping and sliding into the pool. They had a small kids section where kids could easily touch in waist-deep water, and still other sections that were a great depth for grown-ups or kids just wanting to hang out and get a drink from the pool bar. Something really great about Oasis Palm was the kids' splash area. They had a more exclusive kids club area too, but the main Pirate Bay was connected to both the beach and the main pool area, making it extremely easy to keep an eye on the kids while they splashed in the shallow kiddie pool. They even had small playground equipment right there on the beach so the kids could go from splashing to playing in the sand with literally 4 steps. The stairs even had a clever sand washing puddle at the bottom to keep all the sand out of the pool. We did use the kids club as well, but just like check-in at the hotel, signing the kids up and checking them in each day seemed to take longer than we wanted. I'd love to see a more streamlined process to help families have more fun and less time waiting in line during their stay. But once they were checked in, the kids all had a great time. The kids club has both dry indoor play areas for smaller and bigger kids, as well as the Jurassic River, an awesome kids pool with some pretty great water slides. They will let parents go back and check on their kids or to help their kids get acclimated, but we weren't allowed to stay and play with them. So this really is a place just for the kids to have fun and do a lot of great activities. My oldest daughter loved the water slides, but my 3 other kids that we checked in really liked being able to play with all the toys that they had available for them. So despite some of the difficulty with check-in, the kids club got a big thumbs up from all of my kids that actually got to use it. I can't help but wonder if some of the waiting and delays that we experienced were linguistic. If you only speak English, I promise you will be fine and well taken care of at Oasis Palm. But Spanish is definitely the go-to language for much of the staff, and there were a couple of times where even my 12 years of formal Spanish education left me and the hotel staff searching for another way to explain or describe what we were trying to do or order. But the Oasis staff was always quick to call for help if and when they needed it, always resolving the confusion correctly. Which leads me to my absolute favorite and unique thing that I saw at Oasis Palm. I've been on lots of vacations where you'll see arcade games available. Cruise lines, resorts, hotels, restaurants, they'll all have arcades available somewhere, but they almost always cost money. But not at Oasis Palm. When I first saw all the arcade games in the sports bar area, I just ignored them. But I started to see people walk up and play. And that's when it hit me. These games are free. It was like a dream come true for me and all my kids, but especially my son. The fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom were nostalgic for me, but the racing games with car seats and motorcycles and steering wheels that you could sit in and drive were by far the most amazing thing. We would often stop by and play a few games before heading to lunch or dinner, or just take a break from playing hard on the beach. Oasis Palm made a great choice, making all of these available for guests for free. I just hope to see more places follow their example of free arcades. While we never stayed up late enough for the shows that started around 10 p.m., we did make sure to catch the live music out by the pool area each night. There was an awesome variety of really talented bands, from rock and roll covers to folk guitar duets, but my personal favorite was the authentic mariachi band that played. I almost never listened to mariachi music, but when staying in Mexico, it really topped off the experience. After our 5-night stay, it was finally time to check out. Our flight didn't leave until later in the evening, but checkout time was at noon. I loved that Oasis Palm was super understanding about this. And while we did have to have everything out of our room by 12 p.m., they graciously held all of our luggage in a holding room, and we were allowed to stay on the grounds to play at the beach and eat in the restaurants until our shuttle actually arrived. That was a really great way to leave. We didn't feel rushed or like we had worn out our welcome. We felt like they actually wanted us to stay and hoped that we would come back again soon. Overall, Oasis Palm was a wonderful vacation with all of our kids, and I can recommend that you book a vacation here if you're willing to temper your expectations. It's a cheaper resort, and you might notice it sometimes in the aesthetics, but we rarely focused on that. Most of the time, you're surrounded by other families having a great time. The price is much more affordable, and the atmosphere is fun and exciting. It's a busy place, but if your family wants to have fun on your vacation, you'll easily be able to check that off your list at Oasis Palm in Cancun, Mexico.